Florida State's in a good position right now, NIL-wise. They're not ever going to be, as I said yesterday on the show, a kingpin the way that, say, Alabama or Texas A&M or Notre Dame or whomever is that has more money in the coffers. But you don't have to be, because you're really wrestling over, let's say, 10 kids, and you got to be able to pay those 10 because they're getting offers, whatever. Florida State can do that. Florida State can do that. And so you and I speculated yesterday about not the overall budget, which I think I've got a pretty good handle on now, but really how it would be utilized. And we speculated, and that's all this is. And I think we continue to say that, it's not just about the money you have to give incoming recruits that you're fighting with other universities for. Also, obviously, transfer portal kids, but also roster retention. And I do know that they've thought that through, that a lot of the collectives have thought that through. So
that's good. I mean, it is common sense, but this university has not adopted common sense over the last 30 years when it comes to the methods of being sure you're organized top to bottom. Now, that's changed in a lot of ways the last about 2 years, which is great. That, for example, you have an athletic director who is empowered to make decisions that impact the athletic department, and not a puppet for the president who wants to play athletic director. That's nice. You also have control of the money in terms of the votes.
It took us a long time to catch up with the way the modern system works with boosters, alumni money, and all that.
And that outdated system got us to where we were.
Right,
so
right.
It served its purpose, but it was woefully outdated for a long time. It's nice to hear that from the athletic department side, that's the university side, you're buttoned up top to bottom. And it's nice to know that this other collective that has nothing to do with Florida State University has the pie chart plan in place about how to spend it.
Yeah.
It's not just all in one place with one dude or couple of guys.
No, not at all. But you have to remain vigilant, and there will always be arguments within that group about the right way to do things. And I suspect that is the case currently for a group like Rising Spear, where there are people who think it should be one way and those that think it should be another. Of course, if you're being a realist here, this is my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. If you're a realist here, when we're talking about big-time money for athletic programs, I'm not talking about softball. I'm not talking about swimming. Come on now. That money has to be for football. I'm talking about the collectives. That money has to go to football.
Yeah, I don't know who would disagree with you there,
well,
especially
you never know. There's some people occasionally that just don't see the world the same way, buddy.
Well, that's asinine.
Of course it is.
That's fundamentally.
But maybe their background isn't football. You get somebody who's like, I really like basketball or something, and the next thing you know.
Look, man, I'm all about investing on the university side and good coaches, first of all.
Of course.
And that's what we're doing here. That's why the offer to Krikorian was on brand. We will put the best out there to prepare
if you're winning, yeah.
And those people, especially in non-revenue sports, can recruit like crazy because a coach's reputation matters more than an NIL package. There is going to be room for NIL money for more sports when football succeeds. That would be my number one coda. We'll get to you when this big problem is fixed.
Yeah. That whole system, the reason, well, I'm not going to do this because we'd be here for 16 hours. The whole financial collapse over there a while back, where you had to bring in a bean counter, was because football failed. And they were so dependent. The budget was dependent on football.
That's why his legacy, Coburn, people pick on it. That's easy. That's low-hanging fruit. That's a tough position. When you're the guy who has to shrink the budget, nobody likes you.
No, you can't win. You come in and you tell coaches instantly they're taking a pay cut.
Right.
Good luck, buddy. They hate your ass.
Right. Yeah, that's just a thankless job. So I always lay off in that regard. But yes, he had to be there for a reason. You had to balance things around.
Right. So you that has to be, as I say, football has to be operating at peak efficiency for all this other stuff to work, to have a chance. Think of all the changes they want to make. Think of all the things they want to build and do differently. You got to win.
Right.
You got to win in football, period.
You want a new baseball stadium? Win in football. You want, facilities for training for soccer or softball? Win in football.
I can tell you this from having spoken to them. Nobody is a bigger fan of the football program than the other coaches of the other athletic programs.
Yeah, they get it.
Those coaches, to a man or woman, will tell you they're huge football fans. They are sitting around on Saturday, just like you and me, really rooting for
Right.
Mike to get this done.
It's almost like they're the hotel industry or the hospitality industry in the city of Tallahassee.
Yes.
Keep winning.
Keep winning.
They could be grads of anywhere. You know, if you're a general manager of a hotel here in Tallahassee, you could be an Auburn grad, and you say, "Come on, Noles."
Oh, if you own a restaurant, a hotel, any business that obviously does well with an influx of people to your city, yeah, you'd like that team to be kicking ass, even if secretly you resent the hell out of them. And that's true, I think, again, my opinion, of coaches at the university level. I mean, there's probably plenty of coaches over there that don't like that football gets the lion's share of the budget and all this other stuff, but they know damn well you can't bite the hand that feeds you, so you got to have that program winning.
And I'm sure they resent football when they get the budget and they do nothing with it, like the past 5 or 6 years. I could see where that would be. A Saturday would be rough.
I have been on the other end of that phone call too many times to listen to. It's hilarious to listen to coaches.
Boy, what a waste. What a waste.
Oh, buddy, I wish I could record them and then make them anonymous, like change the voice so you could just hear what the coach had to say but not identify them, because you would crack up. I mean, I've had in-depth conversations where I'm trying not to laugh listening to the vitriol.
I hate Jimbo.
Son of a bitch loses again this weekend. I'm going to beat his ass.
Willie sucks. Just like Jimbo did at the end.
Click.
Where's my money?
Yeah, they all get it, man. They need Florida State to win and win big. Marcus writes, the most disappointing part of this season is we never got to answer what you know about Bless Harris.
Woo!
Go Phils /Birds, Director Dollars, hashtag. Thanks, Marcus. I will not give that money to Matthew. Now, I will say that in terms of coaches and wanting Florida State to succeed, they have coaches meetings with the university. They all have to sit in the same room.
Yeah.
And I would give anything to be a fly on the wall when things are going well or poorly, either one.
They've got to be okay right now. Like, in terms
they like
of
Mike.
Remember the old NCAA football games, and you would have the graphic of the cartoon football smiling or angry or frowning based upon what the recruit thinks of your pitch. They're probably neutral to a slight wry grin on that football scale right now. The other coaches, like, okay,
they're like, okay,
all right,
coaches,
this could work.
Coaches tend to look at, because obviously they're coaches themselves, they don't look at the product on the field the way that we look at the product on the field. Like you and I are looking at execution, game plan, strategy, all that stuff, right? They're looking at the leadership and the organization. They want to see, hey, does this guy have what it takes to be a leader and get this thing moving as a program in the right direction? You're going to win some games. You're going to lose some games. Players make mistakes. They're played by humans. It happens. But they're going to watch that and say, he doesn't get it. Or they're going to go, okay, all right, I see you working right there. That's how you do that. And it's fascinating how quickly they come to that conclusion. It doesn't take much. It's a meeting or two, followed by a couple of games, followed by, I'm talking to this person, and they're going, your boy's done. He's 5 games in. No, it ain't going to get better. What? Like that kind of conversation happens? Or really like what I'm seeing there? Really, they're going to be all right.
Yeah, they've got a process.
They're all looking at that kind of stuff.